And welcome to this lecture. Now today we are going to look at some MCQs. Last time I have given some MCQs. These are in addition to that. So calculate the energy if lambda is 740 nanometer. So this can be asked as simple question, or it can have 4 options. So for solving this question, you must know the expression is equal to hc by lambda, because lambda is given, CO2, h is Planck's constant, c is velocity of light, lambda is there. So you can use this expression and calculate the energy. Now the second one, calculate degrees of freedom for vibrational motion in water, ammonia, CH4 and C6H6. Now these are all non-linear molecules. So 3n minus 5, 3n minus 6 rather, degrees of freedom would be there. If it is linear, then it will be 3n minus 5. So n is number of atoms which is comprising or which is making the molecule. So for benzene it will be 12 into 3 minus 6, that is 30 modes of vibration will be degrees of freedom will be there for this. For this molecule 15 minus 6, 9 degrees of freedom will be there. For ammonia it will be 4 into 3, 12, 12 minus 6, 6 modes. For this 9 minus 6, so 3. So this way you have to calculate. For linear molecule 3n minus 5, for non-linear 3n minus 6 and so on. Next question is, for electronic transition the increasing order of energy is. Now these are all electronic excitations. So the correct option is this one, energy, not lambda. Sigma sigma star would require maximum energy, then n sigma star, then pi pi star, and least energy transition would be n pi star. Rest of the options are incorrect because somewhere the order is not proper. So you have to know that sigma sigma star requires more energy than any other. Now this molecule is IR inactive because symmetrical compound, no change in dipole moment for IR light absorption, linear molecule, and phenyl ring causes steric. So IR inactive means the second option is correct. According to selection rule, if there is no change in dipole moment when the organic compound interacts with infrared light, it will not absorb the light. So simply no absorption, so no question of any spectrum. So that is the selection rule. You have to remember, all molecules will not absorb IR light. Okay. Now moving on to the fifth one, arrange the following as per the carbonyl stretching frequency, increasing order 1, 2, 3, 4. So for 1 it will be 1720, for second it will be 1760 something, this will be around 1790, I am just putting rough values, and this will be 1920 something. So 1 will be less, then 2, then 3 and 4. This is the correct order. Fourth one will have highest frequency because fluorine is directly attached to carbonyl. Here at least carbon is intervening, fluorine is not directly attached to carbonyl. two CF3 groups are there as against 1. So this has upper hand. This has upper hand because here plus I effect is operating, here minus I effect is operating. We have seen that minus I effect is going to contract the bond, and the bond order, the bond length would decrease, and energy of the carbonyl stretching would go high because of the ring, the contraction of bond. Okay. Now the sixth one, number of proton signal, proton NMR signals for first molecule is this 1,3-dimethyl benzene. So 1,3-dimethyl methyl will form one set. This is different because it is flanked by two methyls. These two are going to be same because they are having methyl on one side, proton on another side. This is going to be different. So there are four sets of four signals, one can say. One for methyls because they are equivalent, one for this proton because that is not equivalent to others. These two are identical, this is again different, four signals for that. Then one for dichlorobenzene, or para-dichlorobenzene to be precise. All hydrogens are chemically equivalent, so they will give only one signal in its proton NMR. Then third one is one, two, three trimethyl. Now 1, 2, 3 you can say that these all they will show one signal because they are more or less same, and these two are same, this is different. So I will put B, or here I will put C because already A we have put. So these three methyls will appear together, these two hydrogens will show a doublet, this hydrogen will show doublet of a doublet. So I am just putting the multiplicity also, doublet. J is equal to 6 Hertz orthocoupled, J is equal to 6 Hertz orthocoupled, 6 Hertz. Here also orthocoupling on both the side. So that is there. Methyl would appear as a singlet because they don't have any coupling partner. Next question is, TMS is used as an internal standard because the reason we know that and then 10 delta, this is the normal spectrum. Some protons go beyond 10, they are known as offset protons, and some go this side also, like aniline protons or the protons from bridgehead systems and all, they will be below this, so that is minus delta. So 1, 2, 3 something like the here you come up to 10, here it will be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So normally we have seen this 18 aniline protons, they appear around this. The other examples are also there. I'm just recollecting one example. So this proton, I'm just putting the like this proton would be like aniline only. It is flanked by so many electrons and it is inside the ring. So this is also another example wherein you can see that it is going beyond TMS on negative side. So that is the those are the examples. Now the question is, TMS is used as an internal standard. Internal standard is mandatory because that is marked as 0 and then only the relative chemical shifts are studied. TMS is used because its signal appears at very high field as compared to most of the organic compounds. It is inert. No doubt it has to be inert because it should not interact with your compound under investigation. It has low boiling point. Low boiling point helps in removing this when you want to recover the sample, because some precious samples are needed to be recovered. So it has to have the low boiling point, and last option is all of the above. So all of the above are correct because all these are making the TMS as internal standard. A drop of TMS with the capillary is added to the sample tube containing clear solution of your sample in deuterated solvents like CDCl3, DMSO, acetone D6, pyridine D5 and so on. So deuterium locking is must, because when you are putting the sample in probe and then it is kept in high magnetic field and then the radio frequency is varied. So radio frequency can be changed. The other method is where radio frequency is kept constant and field is changed. Normally radio frequency is changed. So continuous wave spectrum instruments, what we call it as, field is kept constant. Continuous wave, the sweep frequency is changed. Calculate delta, the chemical shift for chloroform. If frequency of instrument is 100 megahertz and frequency of sample, the absorbance of sample is 730. So nu of I'll put the formula, nu of sample, nu of instrument in hertz, and this is simplification factor, this is delta ppm. Okay, nu of sample is 730, 100, 10 raised to 6, 10 raised to 6, 10 raised to 6 gets cancelled. This is 7.3 ppm. So this is how you have to calculate if it is asked in the exam. So they may ask any number, the instrument frequency is given, sample absorbance is given, where it resonates, and accordingly you can always calculate for any number because the formula remains same, and the chemical shift of chloroform proton would remain same irrespective of the instrument used. The next question is, which will have greater lambda max? Now greater lambda max means you have to calculate the lambda max. That is the only way you can distinguish them. This is first compound and I am putting the second compound also alongside, so that comparison would be easy. This is heteroannular diene, so 215 basic lambda max, homoannular 254, then 1, 2, 3 alkyl groups or ring residues and 1 exocyclic bond. So this becomes 235 nanometers. Lambda max calculated is equal to, okay. Now here 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are 4 substituents directly attached to the double bond, but they are not the part of chromophore. Then 2 exocyclic bonds. If I designate A and B ring, these 2 bonds are exo to B. So this becomes 284. So definitely the second molecule is the correct answer. So small questions can also be asked, because in exam we don't know, like the pattern they are following, the optional objective pattern, multiple choice pattern, then it will be easy for you guys, because multiple choice, but the chances of losing marks are also more, because you feel that you have take the correct answer, it may not be. So the number of sites of unsaturation in this molecule. Now this molecule is, you can calculate it. If you want, you can calculate it with the carbon hydrogen number also. So 1 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 C8 H 1 2 to 4 6 8 10 12 14. Okay. C8H14. The parent hydrocarbon is C8H18, C8H14. 4 hydrogens are missing, 2 sites of unsaturation. So there are 2 rings. This is one ring, 6 membered, this is another ring, and it is a bridge head system. So 2 sites of unsaturation for this molecule. The 11th question, acetone cannot be used as a solvent in recording UV spectra. The reasons are, it is volatile compound, miscible in water, that may be another reason. N pi star transitions are above 200 and readily available. Readily available would have been the advantage, but it is not. Volatile is one aspect, but the main reason is its N pi star transitions are appearing above 200 and it may interfere in the spectrum of molecule under investigation or the compound what we study, and that is why this is not recommended, because it will interfere with the spectrum of molecule which we study. So therefore it is not advisable. Then last one is C5H8Cl4. C5H8Cl4 is again 4, so C5H12 saturated compound. So saturated, you can have so many options. Okay. C5, I am just putting, in fact it is becoming 6, so let me put it like this only. Now these are all CH3, CH3, let it be CH3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons, and then here all 5 carbons. So isoneo something, what we call it as, this is the molecule of our interest, because this is the correct answer, because 3.4 delta singlet for 8 proton, all these 8 methylenes are chemically equivalent, so they are going to display a singlet because they don't have coupling partner. Now this carbon is not having any proton, so no coupling, and this is the structure wherein all methylenes are chemically equivalent and they are going to display a singlet in its proton NMR. Okay. Now in due course we have to solve some numericals on UVIR NMR combined problem, but we'll continue with it because in final exam these kind of questions are more likely. That's why I thought that I'll give one more set so that you can prepare for the exam which will be scheduled in the month of June. We have left with less time, so I'll be putting these kind of questions frequently, and in the next lecture we'll see that some numericals on UVIR NMR combined would be there. Okay, thank you very much.